Hey, hello locals and hello Facebook. Good morning. It is 5:57 in the morning. Hi, buddy. Did you get that? Oh, he killed a little toy. He's so amazing. Did you do it? So, this little guy gets away. Can you stop touching my face? Because that's his favorite thing. Like, I want to touch your face, but I'm like, you walk in your own poop. Don't touch my face. You walk in your own poop, buddy. He's so sweet. Say I could just fall asleep. Look at him. Just fall asleep here. So this is my Drax the Destroyer was the perfect name for him. He destroys my whole house and he's so cute. And then you get real mad and he's like messing everything up and breaking shit. And you run up to him and he's like, hey. And then he's so sweet and your little heart melts. And, you know, disciplining cats is like, you know, it's a losing thing. They really don't care. Like, I put sticky pads all over my husband's sound studio because it's carpeted up to the ceiling. They just found the path around the stick, which you quit. They're obsessed with my necklace. That's all they want to do is just mess it up. Hi, buddy. You want to go live your life? Look at that face. Look at this boy. Look at him. He's so bad. Tell them Sam's so bad. So I put tin foil and I wrapped it all around our electrical wires because I don't want my cats to get hurt. Many years ago, I had a cat chew through a power cord of a computer. Thank God, you know, besides it sparking and blackening his mouth, he didn't, like, you know, get hurt, but he learned his lesson. They don't know. They're like, these are strings everywhere. And we work from home, and there's like a voice studio and all, so there's wires everywhere. So I enshrined them all in tinfoil. Well, that worked when they were very tiny teenies, but now they're like, this tinfoil is very crunchy, and it makes noise. Share my stream if you can. I would appreciate it. Because I am shadow banned here on Facebook. But they are anything they're not supposed to do is what they do. That's what cats do. Anything they're not supposed to do. Anything. Wow. Nerdrotic's house is gorgeous. I gotta tell him. Your home is stunning. Also, too soon. There. He has a Christmas tree. I had to put it, sorry, Nerdrotic posted something, and it was a Christmas tree. So I'm like, squirrel, they are getting big. It's just so hard to deter them from anything, you know. I try to, but they're just like, we're kittens and we don't care. And they get away with bloody murder because they know when they're really, really bad. So they have this trick. When they're particularly bad, they start purring when you pick them up. And being real cute, like putting their little paws like this. And they're like, oh, hey. Couldn't help but notice we did something really bad. Yeah, it's really, really bad. So that's what, hey. No, I'm sorry. This is now messing with the internet cord because, you know, the 80 cat towers, the million cat toys, the everything I bought you little turds. That's not what we want. We want your internet cable. No matter what I do to tour them, no matter what I put on it, nothing works. These cats are like, hi, baby, you gonna fall asleep there? Is that a nice place to be a kitty? They haven't discovered my kitchen counters yet. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. She's warmed up to me. She is really breaking in. I don't think she'll ever like anyone else, but do you have a cat wheel? I have everything. Are you talking about the little ball? We have 3 stories. 7-foot cat tower, 3-foot cat tower. Downstairs is a 4.5-foot cat tower We have this stupid tunnel. Hold on. The tunnel with the little one. They love that. They love it. The beds, which they can't be beds because we just smashed down the top. And that's how we use our beds. Couldn't possibly use them the way they're supposed to be used. So, I mean, the whole house is catnip, is toys, is feathers. I mean, it looks like we're like parents and that we have toddlers living here. Swear to God, it just does. And, yeah. Hey, what did I tell you? I said no, get out of here. Get in your little tube. Get in your tube. She's like, I'm going to go right back to the internet cord because it's Cat Central. It's unbelievable here. They're so spoiled. And we always have to make sure, you know, that we give dog all the attention we could possibly give her because she's like, first off, I don't like these cats. That's the dog. First off, I don't like these cats. Secondly, I don't like when you touch them. Like, she's very much like, I'm just over these creatures. And she's so sweet. And we love our Luna. So we want her to feel, you know, that she hasn't been replaced. But they're just so much trouble. The best thing is Luna rats them out. They'll be doing something real bad. And she comes up to me like, hey, you know those little creatures that you think are so great? Follow me. She'll take me and look at them with her tail sticking straight out, like, look at what they're doing. Do you see? And I'm like, this dog is so smart. She's like, fuck these kittens. I don't like them. I'm not getting a hamster wheel for cats. I'm not buying them anything else. I'm sorry. Make do with what you got, cats. You have 6 cat beds. They have 4 cat towers. Big ones. We're done. We're done buying things for the cats. We just had to spend $5,500 on a well pump. I told my husband, Merry Christmas, Happy Anniversary, Happy Birthday. Like, that's it. Like, they're good. They get nothing else. Good day, sir. Like, sorry. I'm like, for Christmas, let's just stuff our stockings and keep like maybe $100 gift limit would be nice. Maybe we'll just do one present under the tree because you know what our gift is? Running water. It's running water. And what's funny is all these people like, your husband could have done it, blah, blah. Well, our well is like 150 feet down in the Rocky Mountains. The things they had here to pull it up, I'm like, we don't have that machinery. You could do it yourself, fuck it up, make it cost $15,000. Hell no. So what was happening is I got them. I got the cat towers for cheap. I am frugal, dude. I got cheap ass shit, and I'm like real happy for it. I sat there just planning. I had shit in storage that I bought when Lou was still alive, knowing that I would get kittens later, and just put it in storage. I am psycho with deals. Anyway, this is what was wrong with her well pump. 20 years ago, they put in a well pump that had a lifespan of 3 years. This thing lasted 20 years, so I'm very blessed for that. The fact that it lasted the whole time we were here, holy poop. I mean, when we had our well pump, like, that Matt uses when our water goes out, installed, the guy's like, you're going to probably need to replace your well pump. So we knew it was coming, but we were just like, please, no time soon. But it did. It happened. Home ownership. This is what happens. Basically, the well pump, because back then they didn't have cameras to know where they were placing it, which is something else. Do it yourself without the camera or the machinery or yeah, that would have been terrible. Horrible idea. Well, they were probably like, do it yourself. They didn't even submerge the well pump where it needed to be. It wasn't on the water line, so it kept surging, trying to pull up the water, surging, which would short out our electrical box, which then hurt our pressure tank. Like, it just wasn't placed correctly. So now that we have one placed correctly that he saw on camera and put it right in the spot it's supposed to be, and it was very difficult for him, and this is a well tech. This is what he does. He's like, wow, you're well, man. And we're like, we know. We're on the side of a rocky mountain, halfway up. Like, everyone's like, are you going to have a garden? I'm like, sure. You're going to move boulders the size of my house? Like, you can't even till the earth here. We are on a rocky mountain. They're full of rocks. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So it's in there, and there's no surging. There's no bad things happening. It's just working. And we're so glad we had a professional for that. Like, my husband can fix sinks, and he's changed out toilets, and he installed dishwashers and ovens and everything else for me. Like, I trust him doing that. But when you have a job like this, 150 feet down, how the fuck was my husband supposed to know when he hit the water line and the right placement of this, and then juggling it between that and the simple pump that he uses to hand pump? Like, that wasn't gonna happen. At a certain point, you have to like be like, okay, there are professionals that know what they're doing, and we have to like give this to them. Like, my husband built me a chicken coop. Yay! Yay! Great mannered cat. I wouldn't say they're unruly. They're so mischievous, and they're so curious about everything because they're discovering the world. And they're discovering which behaviors are acceptable and which are not. And they know what's not, because they'll like, let's say there's like something they're not supposed to fuck up. They'll be like, fucking it up. And they look right at you like, what do you think about that? Like, you assholes. They like look at me like, do you see what I'm doing to you? And then I pick them up and they're like, and I'm like, you get away with everything. They know how to play me like a fucking fiddle. They're just the worst. And I love them. They haven't touched my tree. They don't even go near it. I think it's because I fortified the tree so much. For the dog too, with scat mats, that they're like, nah, we're good. We have a whole house to fuck up. So they just focus. They just focus on the rest of the house. I'm like, well, at least we have that. But I can't, they're pushing all the boundaries. I can't, fortify the whole house for Christmas. So I'm sure they're going to break quite a few things. I wake up to dead birds all the time on my floor next to my bed. I'm never going to let them out. I mean, we have a great horned owl that lives right there because it's like, I want your chickens every second I look at them, and one day you're going to watch me fly away with a chicken. And I'm like, it just sits there like, I would like those. With the big ears, and its wingspan is like 6 feet. It's gorgeous. And I can't get mad at it. I'm like, that thing's looking like free chicken dinner. Everyone in the woods loves a free chicken dinner. They all love it. They're like, free chicken dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, getting water at 100 feet is pretty good. It's not all that uncommon to have 800 to 900 foot wells out here. Out here, we have to deal with the boulders. There's boulders and rocks. And it was the placement of the well pump. And this guy spent forever out there. And he's like, I usually get this done in 2 hours. We knew our well was a special case. The guy who built this house cut every corner. Everyone in town knows each other, and they're like, oh, that's the house where they cut every corner. So we've had to, one by one, fix every single thing that he tried to save money on. Get what I mean? Like, imagine the cheapest cheapskate you've ever known. Just the cheapest of the cheap. He's like, I'm going to build a house. They're like, all right, let's do the bathroom. He's like, put drop ceilings in it. Just like a school from the 1970s. Drop ceilings. That'd be good. Really, bro? We got drop ceilings in one of our bathrooms. And because he was old, everyone in town's like, a lot of people, ripped him off, which is really sad. People take advantage of elderly people. It's really sad. Okay. I need to wash my face. So yesterday, holy poop. The Christmas cards have begun. I sent out a big, I guess, chunk of them. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to save them until like a week before Thanksgiving. It might be a little too early. But if you spend $80 in any of my stores, I am sending you a Christmas card. And they're cute. There's no Drax and Newt. They didn't make the cut. But little Lou did. Look at that Lou. Oh, that was last Christmas. I miss my old Lou. Oh. Nothing cost me more money than that cat. She was worth every penny. Every penny. And you know what I love about our vet out here? He's so honest, and he's such a good vet. He's been doing it for like 40, 50 years. The guy knows his shit. And when I brought that cat in, he was like, she's so healthy for a senior cat. He's like, and she, who knows? He's like, the turn will happen, and when it happens fast. And he was right. Because, you know, eventually we all die. And he was so honest with me. Like, at the end, when I was like, I want to help her, he's like, the only thing that would help your cat is blood transfusions 2 times a week. And I looked at him like, he's like, which I would highly not recommend, because that would be selfish for you to extend the life of something that it's her time. Thank you. He's like, it's costly, it's invasive, it's like stressful on her. He's like, but you're asking me what would help her. He's like, I could give her medications, that won't help. I could do this, that won't help. He's like, blood transfusions would help, but the stress of it alone might kill her. And I'm like, dude, this vet's awesome. In LA, they would just screw you over. Just extract every dime from you to extend the life of your pet. Like, I'll never forget when Sergeant Pepper, he had ass cancer. I get charged so much money for treatments, and they give me this lethargic, like, zombie cat to bring home, right? And they're like, oh, chemo, radiation. I'm looking at this cat. I'm like, he's suffering so bad. Like, what? How would I torture this creature for myself? Now, my grandma, when she got cancer, she's like, I'm not going to kill myself before I die. She had watched people younger and way sprier than her fight the fight. And when you have a certain cancer and there really isn't no hope and you're at the end of your life, she's like, I'm just, no thank you. She hard passed, and she had 1 more year with us, and then just like my cat. Which country? Go to Chicago. They're like overflowing everywhere. Everyone's outraged, but I'm like, you guys voted for it. But yeah, now I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I was talking about my Lou. Rice water bright. Face wipes. Let's wipe it up. So yeah, get some stocking stuffers and gifts for your loved ones in my little Avon store. I'd be so grateful. But yeah, I really appreciate this vet out here, because there's a lot of people who could take advantage of you, especially when you're emotional and you really love something and you want to do anything you can to help it. And he was just like 9 times out of 10, the vets who like give chemo and cancer treatments, he's like, they're just extracting money. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, there's special cases where I'm like, yeah, maybe. He's like, you got an elderly pet and stuff, they're just getting money out of you. I'm like, it's true. It's true. I like him because he's so no bullshit that even though I wanted him to tell me nice, fuzzy things, he's like, yeah, no. What country? What do you mean, what country? I'm in United States. From which country? Every country. Go to the border and look at them pouring over. Texas has had it, so they're shipping them to all the sanctuary cities. Anyone from it. Bring your terrorists and your rapists and your drug addicts. It doesn't matter. Break the law and we'll give you all the Americans' dollars. We won't spend those dollars on Americans. We'll just give just socialism for all migrants. They deserve more than any American. Fuck you. We're going to steal out of your wallet, hurt and maim you, and then give it to migrants who are way more important than you. That's what's happening. And many people voted for it. Well, that's terrible, Sandy. Like, I have exes I don't like. Straight up. But I don't wish ill will on them. I feel like that's really bad karma. In fact, I hope that they like fix their shit and that they're like all happy in their lives, you know? Like straight up, my ex-husband, he needs someone who doesn't have any spotlight and he can shine and be the star. Everybody look at me. My wife is second. No one really looks at her. Every moment, look at me. He'll be great. That is where he's happiest. And there's many women that'll be like, shine on. That's great. I hope he's like living that life. Child stars are very much like that. All right. Moisturizing toner. Little rice water toner. Lots from Venezuela. Our country's falling apart. Our cities have human fecal matter in the streets. We have no money. We have homeless everywhere. We don't have money for other people. I'm sorry. Have you been to Mexico? It ain't bad. They're only coming here because they want to extract and get free things. They get free healthcare. They get free food. They get free everything. Free, free, free. Because they steal from us and they give it to them. Now, if they're like, hey, we brought Uyghur Muslims that we extracted from actual concentration camps before the Chinese cut out their living organs, we saved them from okay, that's different. But that is not what these people are doing. They're like, we want Americans' money. We want to steal all your tax dollars so you have no social security or anything for you because we're so special. Joe Biden worships migrants. Like, what the fuck? Joe Biden also human trafficked children. In the middle of the night, he was caught loading them onto planes and buses and sending them all over the country, and then they got lost. Human trafficking, dude. Here. Our federal agents cut our fences and break federal laws. If we broke laws, we'd be in prison. But they're like, we break every law and worship migrants, steal from the American people, give everything to illegals. They get everything. Criminals, breaking every law of America, give them every dime, extract it from every soccer mom and every family, take their shit. That's what's happening. And everyone's like, oh, I'm going to keep voting for them Democrats in sanctuary cities. It's going to help. It's going to help. And then they're like in Chicago, why is this happening? They just told us that this is what they wanted to do. Gee willikers. And now they're scared because the progressives don't know how to not be racist. Because they're like, black people deserve this before the migrants. Okay. Well, that's racist. So they're like, what do? The critical race theory's coming for us. We fucked ourselves. And now they're just like, I'm like, dude. What a fucking shit show we live in. I'm sorry. I don't go to any city and say, gee, we have lots of money to just give to foreigners. Do you see Russia like steal the people's money and give it to foreigners? Fuck Russia, give the foreigners money. Egypt's like, we don't want no Palestinians. Sorry. They got the border shut. They're like, pfft. So is Jordan, Iran. They're like, no. And we're like, steal the people's money and give it to criminals. Every single one of them is a criminal. I'm sorry. Unless you just got out of a concentration camp in China, or the government themselves is like stalking you down like the FBI with that January 6th guy. Think about that. Why is the FBI not at the border? Why are they getting protesters from a 2-hour glass-breaking yell fest with American flags? Like, what are you doing? It's just a shit show. Now, if our cities were pristine and amazing, if we were happy and our groceries weren't skyrocketing and inflation wasn't crazy and all this shit, and people were like, we want a chance, cool. But, okay, when my Italian family came here, they're like, you cannot speak Italian. You are American now. You will learn English. You will integrate into America. You will be American. And these people are like, we stand with Palestine and we worship our country and we hate America. Death to America. Give us your money. Give us your money. Get out. Who invited these assholes? That's like someone coming to your party like, you know, I never liked her, even though it's her birthday, but I'm going to shit on her cake and then light her house on fire. What the fuck? Are you for real? And everyone's like, I'll just keep voting for them Democrats and then whine and cry. This is happening. And I'm not saying Republicans will help, but at least Democrats are very clear. We will steal your money and give it to criminals only, and fuck you. And everyone still goes for them. Okay. getting funds for rent feud, just like the Cubans. Cubans aren't allowed here because they're too right-leaning. They got sent back. You didn't look at all those stories? They got sent back. They're like, if you're not going to vote Democrat, you're not welcome. They sent them right back. All right, this is the moisturizing emulsion. Let's emulsify my face. Oh, the admin, Joe Biden right now, is a traitor to America. The border is wide open. That is a federal crime. The border agents are cutting open fences and saying, welcome, the American people. We hate them. We don't work for the American people. We hope they all die. We worship migrants. We're stealing the American people's money and we're giving it to criminals. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And everyone's like, everything's fine as long as I got my TikTok. And I'm just sitting over here like, I'm so glad I couldn't have kids. Sometimes I'm sad, but I mean, no one stands up. No one does anything. And I guess by the time I die, it's going to be a real shit show. So, kind of glad. All right, a new hydrofusion serum. Hyaluronic acid. I need lots of moisture. Lots of moisture. I'm hilarious. Well, it's because we live in a fucking circus. Bunch of idiots as far as the eye can see. Yep, my great-grandparents came here with nothing. Learned English. I remember my grandma was like, why do you not know how to speak Italian? You're full-blooded Dago. Like, why do you not speak Italian? She's like, we thought it was an insult. We're in America. We're not Italian anymore. We came here because we don't want to be Italian. We want to be American. And now you have all these Middle Easterners. We stand with our country. Death to America. Destroy America. We march in the street. Give us free stuff. We want all the free stuff. But death to America. Why are you here? If that's how you feel. Now, you can be like, hey, man, I'm from Poland, and I love my mother country, and they're great, but I'm American now. I'm like, welcome, dude. There should be a test. Like, are you going to be providing into our economy and this whole, like, are you going to acclimate to our, do you really think a Middle Easterner from Afghanistan can infiltrate and, like, come into this country and behave the way our society does? In that country, 55-year-old men buy 9-year-olds to fuck them and marry them. 55-year-old men, and the parents are like, oh yeah, sell our children, sell the children, have sex with our children for thousands of years. You think they're going to come here and be like, oh, well, that's not acceptable anymore? That's why there should be a test. Are you ready and willing to be American, be a Westerner, and not have this thought process? Otherwise, fuck off, because we don't need no pedos here. Sorry. I don't care if it's your culture. You're fucking getting a 9-year-old bride. I just retweeted it the other day. 9-year-old bride. 55-year-old man was like, ha ha ha. 9-year-old. Let's go to America. Ha ha ha. And she's like, I'm a child. Guess it's my wedding night. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want none of that. I'm sorry. Respect your culture? Yeah, you stay over there with that. We don't need that here. No, thank you. Preteen with the oily skin, the Hydrofusion, the Belief Aqua Bomb, and our Skin So Soft Acne Care, I think would be the best. All right, Hydrofusion Day Cream. It's a gel, which is, you know, not as heavy as everything else. So, highly recommended for oily skin, but I need moisture, man. And this has hyaluronic acid in it. So let's moisture it up. You need my skin. I'm scaly. Dude, my nose is falling off. That's why I'm like moisturizing so much. Look at this. See the redness? My nose is falling off. When I go outside to tend my chickens, it just drips like a hose. It's so gross. I can't stop it. Americans are never going to stand up for themselves. They're fucking cowards. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have women at a women's race with not one woman on that podium winning the race. We are cowards. We're just pussies. We're never going to do anything. We just go, I go online and I do this with my fingers. Look at me. I'm taking, well, yeah, my fingers. And that's all they do. Everyone's too afraid to tell the truth. Objective truth. I'm tired of placating people's feelings. Feelings they're neither right nor wrong. They're neither true nor false. They exist. But stop forcing me to pretend your feelings are my truth or whatever. No, they're fucking not. They only exist in your little narcissistic world. Nobody else fucking cares. I just don't understand. All right. Let's do a new Ultimate Supreme eye stick. Let's do it. No, I do not put lotion on my eyelids. I put eye serum on my eyelids, which I am doing right now. Again, if America was not trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt, if there were people lined up at our border who escaped the concentration camps in China through actual government persecution and needed help, that's one thing. These are just freeloading socialists that want our shit. I'm sorry. Fuck off. I'm sorry. Fuck off. Potholes everywhere, cities falling apart, bridges falling apart, homeless everywhere, drugs all over the streets, gangs ruling Chicago. And what you want to do is just let in people who are like, I want to be in America and my first act here is going to be to break the law and steal your things. Get out. I'm sorry. Can any of us just sneak in another country? No, you can't. You can't. As I said, Palestinians, no one wants them. Jordan doesn't want them. Iran's like, get the fuck out. Egypt's like, nope. Like, they're like, hell no. No. With Hamas. No. No. They're not taking nobody. And everyone's like, we should fly them here where they can chant death to America and hurt us and steal our thing. Get the fuck, you go there. Have you lost your minds? I have too many family members that fought in the Middle East, dude. I have heard stories. My cousin is a former Marine who then went into the Army because he wanted to rank up and then he left because the Army got crazy. And I listen to his stories and he's like, dude, it's bad. It's bad. He's like, you're a woman. I wouldn't want you to go there. No. And I trust him more than I trust any fucking idiot walking down the street in New York. The boy who saw it all. It's crazy. Anti-aging. Avon Solutions. Just going to put a little bit on the backs of my hands. Why not? You know, I'll put a little on my tits too. Who's stopping me? By the way, I sell Avon. I sit here and I watch the world fall apart. I used to lament and be so sad I didn't have kids, but now I'm happy because, like, what kind of world would I give them? And I'm not talking about pollution and shit, because all these climate change people, they're not sincere. If they were, they'd be like, China and India must be held accountable. We must only talk about China and India. They're the ones destroying the world. It's those Chinese and Indians who don't follow any rules or regulations destroying the world. They never say it. So then any word that comes out of their mouth, I'm like, you're bullshit. Fuck off. That's why when people are like, oh, Palestine open-air prison, I'm like, you never cared about the Uyghur Muslims in actual concentration camps. They're women being tied down to bed, sterilized so they can't breed. Hello? Forcibly sterilized in concentration camps, reprogrammed to be human slaves to make your cell phones, and they have their organs cut out of their body and sold on the... Well, I don't care about them because the TV didn't tell me to march for them. I only march for what the machine tells me to, so we can make Boeing and Halliburton and all those people tons of war money. I help the war machine. Well, then go do it. Go help the war machine. Finishing touch for that moisturization. Amazon Berry Boost. I like to help people who make bombs kill more kids. Good for you, dude. Awesome. That's amazing. So this is a mask that you can wear overnight, or you can wear it in the day if you're in desperate need of moisture, which, you know, your girl is. Trump's just saying words to get in the news. Until he makes an announcement, I assume anything he says is to just get press. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I believe. Why would I run for the presidency? To be murdered? To be JFK'd? How'd that work out for Trump? They're like, we're going to throw you in prison forever. You didn't help the war machine. You tried to help those pesky, evil Americans we hate and want to die. We're going to lock you up for anything, for everything we can fight. Like every second, you're indicted. 99 million indictments. And you look at what it is and you're like, this is stupid. This is nothing. Are you kidding me? George Bush and Dick Cheney are like, we killed thousands of Americans and hurt everyone and we're fine. Obama loves us. The machine loves us. Dick Cheney and George Bush. And my favorite is they're like, why can't you be a good Republican like George Bush? And I'm like, you know, Dick Cheney has something to say and Joy Behar and The View, we trust Dick Cheney. And I'm like, no indictments for them. They're very good people. I didn't know if you knew that Dick Cheney was a really good man. Shot his friend in the face. Oops. Shot his friend in the face. Why? Why did this scroll up? There. I'm like, I don't see any new chats. But now I can see it on my locals. Good morning, Joshua. Oh, yeah. In New Jersey, the manhunt for the guy that was at the Capitol. Imagine those tax dollars being used to actually hunt down real criminals. We're still with the insurrection. But anytime the left does it, it's fine. They can take over city blocks. They can murder kids in the streets. They can riot for a year. And that's so good. They can attack police stations, light them on fire with people in it. They can attack federal courthouses. That's good. They can shake the fences at the White House for Palestine and scare the president. That's very good. It's a good insurrection. The trans activists, they can take over. They can storm the Capitol. And that's very good. We clap and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Talk about selective punishments. Like, that's why I'm just over it. I just sit here and I'm like, dude, don't fucking care. Vote for whoever you want to and get fucked. That's how I feel about it. It's done. Wait until you're a third world country, baby. And it's coming any second. Just you wait. And then you'll be like, but my activism. Like the second I hear activism, I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of my life. You're like a Jehovah's Witness. I already hate you. I don't want to talk to you. Like, get a job, get a hobby, get some friends. Like, do something amazing with your life. Just get this out of here. I'm an activist. So what do? I activate. Anytime Twitter tells me to be outraged or TikTok, I'm activated. And I pretend I've always cared about it. I don't care if there's haters in here. We want you to worship your government and trust them in every way. The government has a history of always hurting the American people and lying left and right, but mythically and magically they got better. You're a conspiracy theorist, even though I can historically look that all they do is abuse and lie to the American people. I trust them and lick their asshole. Go for it. Go. Worship them. Love them. They love you. They fucking love you. And when you get drafted, you'll know just how much. You know what I would like if all the activists started marching like no World War III? Like, what the fuck does the environment matter if everyone's dead? Even the animals and the trees. Right? What? Why? Peggy, thank you. Oh my God, did I miss other stars? Peggy and Kristen. Thank you for the stars. I'm so sorry. I'm just like, my activism is no war. Sorry. There's too many nuclear warheads. We're at a point where they want to like make us pretend that they haven't had advancements in weapons since the 60s. Sorry, friends. I'm sure there's some real fucked up shit we don't know about, and I ain't playing. I would like to live. I would like the children in my life that I love more than anything to have a long, lovely life. So take your activism, shove it in your ass, and start fucking activating for human life so we don't all die. Wouldn't that be great? Terry, that's sad. It's because when your entire identity is based on something like your sexuality or your feelings, you're a husk of a human being. For me, my identity lies on what would my friends and loved ones have to say about me, right? I will not share what she said, but before one of my oldest friends in life died, she sent me a text message, and it was the last time her brain was like functioning properly because her breast cancer had gone to her brain, and I knew it. And my husband was like, because I ran into the other room and I texted her all night. I knew it was the last time I would ever be able to talk to her, like actually have a conversation. I told my husband the next day, he's like, you're crazy. She's fine. And then later when she died, he's like, boy, did you call that? Like, my heart knew it was the last conversation. And I am not going to get emotional, so I'm going to think about this makeup palette that I'm going to tell you about really quick. I'm going to be using Minx, FMG Minx, because I don't feel like getting emotional. There. Checked it. Stoic. Right? Let's get stoic here. But she told me how she felt about me and my character and my dependability as a friend and all this shit. And it was so fucking beautiful. And I'm like, who cares about my sexuality? Who cares about my hair color? Who cares about what group I'm in? This is the best gift I've ever gotten in my life. And when I die, I would hope that it wasn't like who entered my vagina or what mythical gender I thought I was. I would hope that when people remembered me, VDL, expert color, primer for eyes, that it would be something like that. I cried my eyes out. I took screenshots. I showed my husband. He was like, damn. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that is the biggest and most amazing gift that anyone's ever given me. And if I die in my life knowing that I made one person feel that way about me, holy shit, what an accomplishment. But instead, everyone's accomplishment is going viral on TikTok. How many viewers or followers you have. Like, people come in here and laugh at me. You only have 372 people watching you. Shut up. Who cares? What, do you think Kim Kardashian has some deep philosophical feelings, deep entrenched morality, deep set in stone convictions and things about her that her friends are like, man, you don't understand. I don't want to be that. I'm good. I put makeup on. I sell makeup. Do you want some for Christmas or perhaps Hanukkah? Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck it is that you celebrate. I would love to sell you some shit and just sit here and live a simple life, because that is a beautiful life. And I think everybody just is reaching so hard for attention and validation that is empty. It's meaningless. Your validation should come from your dying friend. That's where your validation should come from, not the internet. Nope. When your friend gets that truth serum and they know they have limited time on this earth and they really let you know how they feel about you, everything else is white noise and stupid. White noise and stupid. And it's so funny because when she got sick, I had all these people, oh, did you know she's in, I'm like, guys, like, I kept her confidence till the end. I didn't tell people. We were talking. Nothing. I'm like, dude, I'm in your court. Whatever it is that you need from me. And she was just fucking sick and tired of people treating her like a disease. Her identity was cancer. Just like some people are like, I'm a lesbian every second, lesbian every moment. There's nothing else to me but my sexuality. It's like, what the fuck? And she's like, there's so much more to me than cancer. When you say hi to me, can you not be like, how are you feeling? How is the cancer? That's what everyone was doing to her. And she would call me. And I'd be like, what up, bitch? She's like, hey. And if she wanted to tell me something like that, sure. But until then, I treated her, and that was one of the things she told me. She's like, you were the only one that it was like, I had never got sick. You didn't alter the way you treated me. Unless, like, there was a moment she was really sick, like when I was at her house. Of course. I'm like, do you need help sitting down? What can I do for you? Right? But otherwise, I didn't change my behavior towards her. Just fucked around. She, like, put this wig on. It was a beautiful wig. And she looked great. And I was like, well, you can't wear that. She's like, why? I was like, because you'll get more attention than me. I can't be seen with you. She's like, no. You have to take that off. All right. Let's do Minx. But I think that's why there's so many lost souls, is because they've been lied to not to build their character and their morality and their convictions, but that they have to find some group of vapid, shallow idiots that identify as this or that and have no convictions and just nothing to them. They're just a husk of a human being, just soulless. You know what I mean? That's so helpful to know. I needed that tip. I'm telling you, and I get you, girl, when someone's really sick, sometimes they're just so tired of talking about it. And a lot of times we project because we don't know what to do. And we just want to help. But it doesn't help them to be fussing every second because they're scared. And sometimes they like to forget just for a moment that they're dying, you know, or that they might die, or that there's this possibility. So you just fuck around and you have a good time with them until they're like, you know what? Like, I'll never forget. My friend called me one day. She was waiting to pick up her children from school. And she calls me. I'm like, what up, girl? And she was like, hey. I was like, I was kind of hoping you could call me today so I could feel better about myself, you know, just fucking around. And she was quiet for a little bit. So I'm like trying to talk. I'm like, maybe she's struggling. Just said something else. I'm like, yeah, you know, isn't that crazy? Our weather, blah, blah, blah. And that was the one time she just broke down. She's like, Adrienne, I'm going to die. And I was like, okay, here it is. Now we can talk about it. Now she's like processing. Not like, how are you feeling? How is your day? Did you take your medication? None of that. I just waited until that moment came where she's like, okay, I'm scared because I am dying. And I'm like, and I'm here to talk to you. And I never told her God wouldn't give you anything you can't handle because that's fucking mean. I said, because she's like, people are saying that to me. And I'm like, dude, Satan gave you this. Why would God be like, I can't wait to torture her? I'm like, this is definitely Satan. She's like, that sounds so much better. I'm like, yeah, dude. Fuck that. What an awful thing to say to people. Awful. Terrible. And I told her that. I'm like, these people just don't know what to say. So instead of thinking about you and what would make you feel better, they're so tied up in how they're feeling and what will make them feel better by serving you that they just start spewing word vomit. And they don't realize it's really bad. Like, you should maybe not say these things, but all right, let's get into this. Let's get into this. It's just crazy. But then, because the cancer hit my friend's brain, she started getting a little delusional. And her sister was like handling everything. But my friend would cut anyone out that even suggested, you know, she'd get her shit in order. Like, she was dying. She didn't want to hear about it. So I was like, you got this. They're crazy. And as I'm telling her what she needs to hear, because she needed some hope instead of doom and gloom, she needed it. And I knew it was not true. And my husband's watching me, like, on the phone with this bitch. I'm like, yeah, man, don't listen. You fight. This fight lasts as long as you want it to. And then I'd take the phone away and be like, you know what I mean? And then when I talked to her sister later, I was like, look, I just didn't want her to stop talking to me. I'm like, I know everything you guys were doing was right. I know everything you guys were doing was right. But I knew she would stop talking to me. Well, Lori, going through it with someone you love really sucks. But if I can like share anything that I learned that might help people, I want to, because it's not easy, but we always have to remember it's not easy for them, man. That it's terrifying. Like she would just call me and be like, I want to just chop my tet off, just cut it off my body. But there was no reason, because it had metastasized in her lungs, in her bones, you know. And you have to have these tough conversations where she would just call me and be like, no, she didn't call me. I was at her house. I stayed with her for 10 days and I did everything. I scrubbed bathtubs. I scrubbed floors. I just got it all done. And I made sure I timed it when, you know, everyone hovers around someone. We're here for you. And then, you know, they have to live their lives. But she still has cancer. She's still going through chemo and radiation, right? And she's struggling. So I'm like, okay. Now I'm going to come in when all the, like, I don't want to say vultures, but how do I put it? The orbiting things of people who mean well, but they have to go back to their jobs and shit. And now she's alone and afraid. Here I am. So I came, and that's when she was just like, you know, her husband had died in a terrible accident just years prior. And she was just like, why would God do this to my kids? And I'm like, Satan did this to your kids. God did not do this. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you God had a plan. Because if this was God's plan, I'm going to write him a strongly worded letter, because it's a fucked up, stupid plan. You know what I mean? She passed away in January of this year. So we're almost there. And this was about a year ago, the last time I was, you know, conversing with her. I was blessed. I knew that I was her person to always call when she was like feeling in a jam, because she knew I would never bring it up. I'd never ask how she felt. I was the only person that did it. And I would always tell her, they're just concerned. They love you, dude. They love you so much. They want to know. And they're not putting themselves in your shoes because they're so afraid. They're afraid because you're so awesome that they're so afraid that they can't step out of their own fear to really assess what it is that you need. So it's not that people are being mean or trying to remind you all the time of the same old shit. They're just scared, dude. And she's like, I didn't even think about that. And then, of course, I lost it because she's like, are you scared? I was like, ah, yes. Yes. Yes, I am. But not, you know, when you're scared, you can take it two ways. You can get courageous for someone else, or you can drown in your own fears. And I think a lot of times when someone's so awesome, you know, you drown in those fears. There you go. Nowhere in the Bible does it say God will not give you more than you can handle. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Job. That's right. So, and then, you know, she struggled with her faith in the end. That was difficult to, like, watch. It sucked, man. Death sucks. Especially when it's someone you love so much. So, my husband will just walk in the room and he'll be like, Jenny Weiser was fucking cool. I'm like, I know she was. She was the shit. She really was. What a blessing I had to have a friend like that. But it's so funny because, you know, people try to be mean to you on the internet and they're like, you're old and you look so old now. And I just look at my husband and I'm like, what's the alternative? I could be my friend. She'll never turn 41 this May, ever. 40 forever. She's dead. So I can get old or I can die. Like, so I'm going to take it as a compliment when people say how fucking old I am, because that means I'm alive. I'll try to look the best that I can as I age, but it just becomes less important. You know what I mean? It just becomes less important. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, I see people clamoring for Botox and stuff, and I'm like, how does that even help your spiritual journey? Like, just how? It's so surface. It's so vain. It's so surface. There's people struggling with cancers, and here you are injecting botulism into your head. Just stop. But you can't see the light, until then. But there you go. That's Adri's guide to your best friend dying. Not fun. Not fun. Now, I made mistakes when my grandma was dying. She was at the hospital when we found out she had lung cancer. She had been deteriorating. We knew it was cancer, but they're like, she has pneumonia. I was like, bullshit. And finally, they found it. I was in there with her alone, and she looked at me, and I took her hands, and I said this most selfish thing. I said, Grandma, don't leave me. You can't leave. Oops. Whoops. Shouldn't have said that. Then I said something else that I really regret because it made her laugh. Because that's me. That's what I like to do. Dark humor. It's fun. I made her laugh. Because my mom's a wild card. I'm like, Grandma, you can't go. And she was just looking at me like, bitch, come on, man. I just got, the diagnosis. I go, who's going to raise Mom? And she just looks at me, and she has lung cancer, and she's like, and I was like, shit! But it's true. Like, you can't. I said it. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Because they lived with each other, my whole life. My grandma lived in our house, so I was like, just throwing anything at the wall to see if it, because first it was like, I need you. You can't go. And then she looked at me like, I'm still going to go, bitch. I'm like, well, then who's going to raise Mom? And I got her. Got her. And then she laughed. Oops. Ooh, this is very warm, pretty thing going on here with my eyes. I like it. Man, did we get some... I want someone to make me laugh on my deathbed. Well, it didn't feel good, and I felt real guilty because she had a huge tumor in her lung. And I didn't know she was going to laugh. Like, it was like I was being funny, but I was also desperate, like trying to find something to make her fight for. Just grasping at straws. I was like, oh, Grandma, don't leave me. Don't go. And then I was like, maybe this will keep her around. Okay, no more jokes, no more. Someone's killed Grandma. I mean, it wasn't the best medicine. Guys, I hurt her. That was the problem. I hurt her. Bad. Sure, that initial giggle might have been fun, but the coughing fit that went on for 5 minutes afterwards where it looked like she was just going to die. I mean, trust me. I felt guilty for saying that joke. I felt real guilty. What have I done? What have I done? Oops. Well, I mean, I was pleading. I was like, look at me. I'm a mess. You can't leave me yet. I didn't have a husband or anything then. I wanted kids so bad. I wanted her to see me have a kid. I probably could have done. What a struggle it is. I look back at my past. I'm like, there was a window where I could have born children. It would have been with the wrong man. But that was the window that my uterus was okay. So the struggle is, now I'm here and I don't have kids, but I have my amazing husband. But it is what it is. Death until I lost my sister in 2005. My husband has never dealt with a super close death yet. Never. And I don't want him to. His mother has been battling stage 4 mantle cell lymphoma. And I couldn't think of a worse person to choose for this. This woman has devoted her entire life to saving lives. She's a nurse of 40 years. She's the one that installs robotic hearts into people's bodies to prolong their lives until they get heart donors. Like, she's amazing. And that's why there's like no rhyme or reason to why, certain people get sick, certain people don't. It's a struggle, man. You just don't understand why. There we go. And I hate it for her. No, I cannot have children with my husband. First off, I'm fucking old. Can we get the memo in? Can I put that in? I'm too old. Even if my uterus worked, your 40s is not an optimal time to have children. No thank you. I can barely get out of bed sometimes. I have so much pain. Are you fucking kidding me? No, not the time. Sorry. And 2, my uterus took a shit. And I wasn't willing to do all the surgeries I needed to prep it, nor was I willing to do IVF, because I'm like, dude, this is clearly my lot in life. Like, I don't need science to manipulate it and all this other, like, I'm good. I'm at peace. I also don't think this is a world I'd want to bring kids in. And my husband does not want children. So it really worked out. He doesn't want them. Why don't you just adopt and lose your husband? No, thank you. I believe in a 2-parent household. He just doesn't want kids. That's fine. That's why I'm perfect for him. I'm broken. He's like, this is great. I don't want kids. She can't have them. Doesn't get better than that, Look at this kitty. Ella, the 16-year-old cat. Sorry, I dual stream. So there's a stream going on locals.com and this one here. And someone just posted their kitty. I have kitties, yeah. So it worked out. He doesn't want kids. I did. There was contention in the beginning of our relationship. And it might have prompted one of the times I left. Because I really did want children. And then with my myomectomy, the discovery that I have a battleground of shit as my uterus because of years of birth control use, which they lie. That's why IVF is so big now. Women didn't used to have so many problems having kids. Hello, birth control. Hello. Unnatural, horrible thing to do to your body. It destroyed mine. I do not recommend. You know what I do recommend? Don't have sex with people you're not willing to marry and have children with. You're going to regret all of them anyway. You're not going to I'm so glad I had that strange dick that night at the bar. Really? You're going to be 6-year-old thinking that? So glad I risked my health, my well-being with someone I didn't know. Never. You're never going to feel that way. This false female empowerment bullshit, I hate it. All right. Let's do some FMG. Brown eyeliner. I have to pull my lids now because I'm old. Sucks. Is what it is. But I gotta pull them. Yep. This chat is full of people who have loved and lost. Women who have kids and who don't. I think there's going to be a lot of lonely people who, they choose not to have kids. I am fully aware. If I live a full life, I will die alone. Men live shorter lives. I have no children, no one to care for me. And if I don't have the money to ensure I have a place that doesn't abuse me, I'm sure I'm going to have a pretty rough go of it in the end. I'm a realist. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. Look at the blood. See it? It's bleeding. It's bleeding. What I don't like is sometimes I feel like I've had people I know talk about their children well, my kids owe me to take care of me forever. That's burdensome. Like, that's mean. Wouldn't you just reproduce to make sure that you, like, you know, have people taking care of you? What if you were a dick to them and they don't want to? What if you don't get along? Like, on what grounds do you just feel entitled to someone dropping their family, their kids, their time to, like, cater to you? Like, to me, I don't know. I didn't say anything, but in my mind I thought, what a selfish thing as a parent to be like, oh, well, my kids will do all this for me. I'm like, what? They don't get to live their lives? Like, they have to work hard to provide for you? That's weird. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe it was a joke. And as I said, I don't have kids. But if I did, I wouldn't be like, it's your job to take care of mommy. Give me all your money. You know? Like, I do know that most people I know who have in-laws living with them, it's not smooth. Like, my grandma was a saint on earth, and my dad loved her, was fine with her living there. But it doesn't always work that way. So I know a few marriages that are, like, falling apart because, you know, you get a kid providing to a needy parent, and the needy parent isn't nice to the spouse, or they don't get along very well. And then the parent starts treating the child like, you know, a husband or wife. And then there's conflicting interests. I think that whole thing's sad. So I always told myself, if I had kids, if they, like, wanted, I wouldn't be upset if I got put in assisted living. Why would I burden them? That's mean. If the option of having, so my grandma, my dad's mom, died at 93, 94. She was amazing. And she lived in assisted living, but it was like her own little condo, like an apartment complex or a duplex. So there was a duplex, and it was like her own little house, only there were buttons in case she fell or anything and that happened. She could press it, and then there was someone in the community that could come. And I'm like, this is amazing. She still has her independence, still feels really good, you know, living on her own. By the way, I love this eyeliner. Makes my eyes look very pretty, right? Now let's do the Avon True Color Super Extend on my eyelashes. But I just thought that was like the coolest thing. People think nursing home, they think of some jail. She didn't live in a jail. I went and visited her, you know, maybe like a year or so before she passed away. And I loved her little house. It was her little house. They lived their own little apartment. That is exactly what it was. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is how it should be. You know, if the person's still slightly independent, right? Or wants to be, that's how it should be. I, you know, pray I don't get super disabled or anything. But even then, like I said, I'm trying to save for retirement. And because I don't plan on retiring, I would like my retirement to just be that little chunk of money that makes sure nobody beats the shit out of me and stuff when I'm old. Well, a nursing home is for people who are not independent anymore. Not really. They need more care. And it's not fair to put that care on your loved ones. If someone is like really fucked up, which I have also seen, that is a heavy burden to put on untrained people. I don't want to retire. I like what I do. I sit here, the only thing full disclosure, that I struggle with is I'm on my computer with my Microsoft Excel, and I don't mind writing like letters and stuff to you guys, which I've been doing with the Christmas cards. Or if you're a first-time shopper with me in my Avon store, I send you a little thank you card and samples. But I got a callus here from writing out the cards. But I like doing that, but I sit. So I try to, My husband's like, don't work into the night. I'm like, but here's the thing. I work and then I take a wee little break, right? And I run around and do things, so I'm not just sitting. Because it's hard for me to sit. It's hard for me to sit. Last 3 years of her life, I'm glad I did. She was a saint. Okay. But not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it. Okay. Let's say my mom right now needed me to take care of her. It would be very difficult here for her. She's disabled. This is a 3-story house. 3 stories. 1 bedroom, 3 stories. This is not compatible with someone who's disabled at all. There's no hospital nearby, no doctor. This would be a terrible place to do that for her. So then what do? I have to like sell my house and leave? That would suck. So like if right now of course I would try to do what I could do, but I think within a month it would be discovered this is the worst fucking place ever to be at the end of life. My mom's not at the end of her life. She's fine. Hypothetical, right? This is really, really bad. And that's why the old man sold it to us, because his family was like, hey, Pops, like, you are 90 years old in the middle of fucking nowhere on a mountain with no health care. Closest real hospital is like 2 hours away. You know, it's treacherous, it's dangerous, it's adventurous to live here. But I've already told Matt, like, when we get older, we can't stay here. We'll die. We will have to sell and go, you know, somewhere cool where you get a little help. Like, you know, mowing your lawn, stuff like that. A little socialism community for old people. 10 grand a month is average? I don't think so. Not in Arkansas. That is not my grandma. And they weren't paying no 10 grand a month. No way. You just have to go somewhere that, you know, maybe you don't want to be. She was in a very small town in Arkansas, and they were not charging $10,000 a month. Believe you me, that is not what was happening there. And she didn't need much assisted living. She only pressed that button, like, I think one time she had a little stroke and fell and pressed the button. That was it. No neighbors, but no conveniences. So let's say, like, even my grandma in the last stages of her life, I would want to take care of her here, but I would know that would be selfish and bad because she would need more than what I could provide here. This is not a good place to you know, die. It isn't. And that's why the old man left. Loving this stream. Carrie, I know you meant stream. My aunt took care of my grandpa with Alzheimer's for 10 years, but she retired as an administrator for a big school system, was never married. Plus, he served in World War II and had VA benefits. That is intense. Intense. So, I haven't been home for a while, but when I was, I would always clean out, like, my mom's laundry room and donate things and scrub her bathroom and do everything I could to, you know, help her out. But I think I'd be pretty selfish to bring her here. I'd have to airlift her from each story. Airlift to go to the bathroom. Yeah, this is just not a compatible house. A ranch would be nice, but a 3-story house when you're older is just dangerous. I can't believe the old guy that lived here before. So he had a business in town, and he started getting so elderly, and it was so hard for him to get around here. He started sleeping in his office. And I think that's when his kids were like, okay, Pops, okay. You don't even stay at your house anymore. You're like crashing on a couch in your office because you can't keep up with it. So I think I'm just going to do my top eyelashes because it kind of gives you that daytime, like, beep. Does that make sense? Do you see that? It makes my eyes look more almond, I think, and open, awake, less heavy, daytime. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. So next, a little vitamin C illuminating primer. I can't put makeup on because look, my skin on my nose, guys, it's falling off. Ugh. So remember I posted that thing about breathing? I probably have boogers. I don't want to subject you. Actually, wow. So I feel like up here, like there's blockages. I have huge nostrils, right? So I told my husband, like, the only time I can breathe is if I take a pen or something here. And I open and I go up into this and I push that part that collapsed open. I'm like, do they make little sticks that you can like put in your nostrils to like open it up? So you could, you know, yeah, everyone does want to be at home. They do. You are very right on that. But I'm scared of doing anything to the nose, but I learned something. Jennifer Aniston lied about a deviated septum. You don't change your whole nose because of that. Bitch, she might have had one and been like, throw a nose job in on that. Because they might like tweak a little bit. Because I looked at the procedure, which terrifies me and I don't want it. One, I don't want to change my face at all, even if it's slightly. Like, I don't want to change it. But two, it looks painful and awful. And anything with the nose kind of wigs me out. You know what I mean? There we go. There we go. Here we go. Vitamin C. There we go. Oh, yeah, I hate thinking about death. Like, one of my parents, I'm not even in their will. So my sibling gets everything. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. At least I don't have to deal with that and fighting and, you know, they just get everything. Whatever. And then my other parent made me the executor of their estate. And I'm like, oh, boy. Hopefully everything goes well. Even when there's a will, you know, people might get mad. I don't even know what's in it, but I'm like, I got you. But one of my friends is like, doesn't it hurt your feelings about that? I'm like, no, my feelings aren't hurt. I'm just like, I don't have to deal with anything. Right? There's no fights to be had. There's no, my opinion isn't needed. It's fine. That's the way I looked at it. Glass half full. You can be butthurt about things in life, or you could be like, well, what's the positive thing that comes from this? Well, there's no question. I don't even have to like attempt to do anything. And if I have an opinion, I might as well just keep it to myself. I love this vitamin C primer. There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. Hey, I ain't in it, so who cares? That's the way you gotta look at it. You can get mad, but I'm like, I don't really care about money, right? Like, because essentially in the end, that's what I care more about, losing a loved one, than I do if they put me on in their will. I'm sure there's some reason for it, but I'm like not going to dig into that, because nothing that this person could leave me could ever bring them back. Like, what's that going to do? Is that going to bring them back? Clearly, they were just like, you know, whatever the reasons are, but I'm not going to, why would I even fight them on it? Like, who cares? I know some people would really care, but I immediately thank God I have Jesus in my life. It's just peace, you know? I'm like, you know, materialistic possessions, whatever. I just hope that if there's anything sentimental that has no value to someone else, and they would know it has value to me, that they'd be like, you know what, even though she isn't supposed to get anything, this was clearly like hers growing up and it's sentimental, and you know. There we go. A little highbrow eyebrow gel over here too. So for me, like if my dad passed away, there's nothing he could leave me that would make it okay. Same with my mom. Well, it was terrible. They died, but at least I got this $5. Like, fuck, sorry. And I know so many people that fight about that. But yeah, it was that moment. I'm like, I can choose to be hurt or just look at the positive of it, you know? Dad is turning 77. Living at home, 30 minutes away. Worried about him though? Of course. I worry about my parents all the time. My dad lives, you know, alone in Arkansas and is disabled. My mom is disabled and lives in Illinois, but she's surrounded by family. And when I say family, we're talking hundreds of people. So I feel better about that. But of course, we always worry about our parents. We love them. That's what we do. How are we feeling about this? I am like pretty happy about my little daytime Minx look. Minx. That's what I used. Minx. It's very pretty. Yeah, when people die and a will is involved, and that's why I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I like knowing that I'm not in the will. Because when it happens, I'm like, I ain't part of that. Does that make sense? And it's like, okay, whatever the reasoning is, does it really matter? Like, you can choose how you feel about things. And in that moment, I was like, am I supposed to be upset? I'm like, yeah, I choose not to be. Who cares? Like, how would that ever affect losing someone you love? It doesn't. It never would. All right. We need some lipstick. Where's my glasses? There it is. There it is. Oh, by the way, today we have a sale until 11:59 at night. I want to give you guys the coupon codes. Let's see. Coupon codes, guys. Coupon codes, which are, if you spend $100 or more, use Deco, like decoration, Deco 100, and you get a 3-piece set for free. It's, the stainless steel cleaning wipes. I love those. It's our bathroom cleaner. I use it to scrub my shower. And it's this spray bottle to cover up your turds. Not kidding. It's in my bathroom. Bathroom covers up my turds. If you spend $150 or more, you use the code DECO 150, and you get all the 3 things that I said. But is that the vitamin C overnight mask? Yes, with a vitamin C overnight mask. Yeah, I will never play that game. I will never play that game. Because what is money? What is money? Can anyone tell me? Does money give you happiness? I say money is options. It gives you options to pay things off, options to do this or that, but it's certainly not happiness, and it never will be happiness. Sometimes money is just problems, you know? So, I mean, would money help? Sometimes, sure, money would help. But it's not worth, like, fighting with people and all that other shit. I think I'm going to use the Birthday Balm lip. Let's see. This is Surprise. Birthday Balm lip in Surprise. Let's get this out of here. And then this. Locals, it worked all day. I'm so glad. There'll be no probate with the one I'm executor of the estate. I'm just like OCD, and I plan, and I'm good at planning. That's why all my friends chose me to like help plan their weddings and stuff. Like, I'm crazy. So it makes sense. You know, it makes sense. But whatever's in the will is what's going to happen. I ain't fighting anything. I ain't fighting nothing. If my parents like, I want everything I own to be given to your ex-husband, I'd be like, man, dude. Okay, because it's their wishes, not yours. So I know it's a lot of work, but it's your parent, you know? That looks beautiful. How are we feeling about this face today? I like it. It's nice and fresh and clean. I feel pretty good. It is 7:23, guys. I sell Avon if you are interested. Again, spend $80 or more in either of my stores, and what do you get? Merry Christmas card from me. Tomorrow I'm doing a cooking stream. I do believe it's at 1 p.m. I'm doing healthy meatloaf. And everyone's like, oh, unhealthy food. We're not doing unhealthy food. It's Thanksgiving is coming. And then Christmas. Like, we got to lose a little bit of weight before we pack on a whole bunch more. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like it. I'm terrified of doing other people's faces. I know my face like the back of my hand, but I'm always scared to do other people's faces. I just feel that way. They always tell me they like it, but I'm always questioning myself. Right? I know a friend of mine just lost a friend, and the family came to say goodbye to said friend and robbed the hospice of things because they thought it like just started taking shit, thinking, oh, like, what vultures? Again, I'm in a position where if someone I love dies and someone else like gets all the shit, but then they're like, oh, it's a trophy for Adrian, or oh, it's like a letter she wrote in 3rd grade. My hopes would be they wouldn't just throw it away. And they'd be like, hey, or hey, look, it's like things that Adrian brought back from Russia, or, you know, I would hope. But, you know, even if that didn't happen, it's still just materialistic, you know. Memories in your heart are way more important than money and things in the end. Family, when his mother passed, while my husband mourned his mother, both her siblings and husband's siblings fought over the nothing she had because of the ugliness he saw. He no longer speaks to them. Isn't it disgusting? Isn't that disgusting? Both my parents worked in factories. What are we going to fight over? You know, is there a house? Okay. Like, it's fine. You can take it all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you do. Wim Hof swear you can open up your nasal system by forcing yourself to use it. Well, I try. I run like cross country, and I try to breathe in my nose and out through my mouth, and I do a cadence rhythm, like, but it's so hard. Listen to me. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. So my mouth is always hanging open like I'm catching flies because I can't breathe out of my nose. And it's been going on for decades now, but it's definitely getting worse. It sucks. So now I keep a journal for my girls, right? So I had my dad do a journal for me. And it's everything about his life. Like, my mom's always been super open about her life, so I know, like, everything about it because, you know, my dad was more secretive because his dad kind of sucked. So he filled out this, like, tell me all about yourself dad thing. And I got it right over here, and it is one of my prized possessions. I love it. It's very important to do stuff like that, right? Try Sudafed, nothing works. I have been to the doctor. I am telling you guys, anything you suggest has been suggested to me over 20 years. So I think it's from that time I broke my nose and it gushed blood everywhere and I had to go home and it was like purple and black and my eyes were black to here. I think it was like 16. I got hit in the face. It was freezing out in Chi-Town. You know how it is to get hit in the face with a football when it's so cold. So cold. I'll never forget that pain. It hurt so bad. It was from the star quarterback at my high school. So it wasn't like some wussy throw, right? I got hit so hard. I remember the gym teacher was all like, walk it off. Like, because he never liked me and he was a dick. And then I could see the fear. Because it was like, I've never had a nosebleed like that. Sure, like some drops. But this was like everywhere. I mean, my whole shirt. And he was like, okay, go to the nurse. I was like, oh, I thought he wanted me to hang out. I'm just over-exaggerating. Next day I come to school with like the black. And I'm like, oh, yeah, remember walk it off? But I'm pretty sure that's what did it. And I can see like right here, this is what changed when I got hit. Is like, it feels like something got pushed down. That's it. I live in Midwest in Michigan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Getting hit in the face with the ball when it's cold sucks. Guys, my husband is streaming right now on twitch.tv/ducksauce. I will be in his stream if you want to hang out. He has a voice of a god. I promise you, of a god. Look at my events on my page today. Sign up to come hang out with me tomorrow. I will be live at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. There you go. I just did all the work for you, you motherfuckers. You have no reason to not come. So that's my husband's stream. He's live right now. And y'all can come hang out with me and my husband. I'm like, well, Anne, you are not welcome. You know, I almost cried a couple times today. I did it, though. I was like, I am not crying. I'm putting makeup on, and I'm not going to cry. But sometimes it's hard to talk about heavy shit, you know? Especially when it's about people you really, really love. But I will say, it doesn't matter what you're left with when someone leaves. It matters that they're gone. But I need to do my will. Like, I already got beneficiaries for, like, if I die and all this other stuff. But I have to write my will. Because I told my husband, I'm like, clearly you get everything if I die. You're my husband. But let's say we both die, right? I want people to get certain things because I know I can leave him a list like, hey, give my mom this and my siblings that and, you know, my niece and nephews this and that. And without a question, he would do all of it. Like, it's really nice to trust someone that much. He would never be some ugly bastard. I'd be like, give all my clothes to your mom and my sister-in-law because we're the same size and they can like pick out what they want and donate the rest. I'm like, but you know, get rid of my underwear and socks because ain't nobody a size 11 and a half and nobody needs to be wearing my dirty, dingy, used underwear. But the rest, you know, we could do that. And like jewelry, I would want people to have certain things. Like my husband gave me this diamond necklace. So it would make kind of little to no sense for someone to have this sentimental, you know, forever love necklace that was romantically given to me. But if he didn't want it and wanted to give it to someone else, then fine, right? But that's up to him. He gave me this. Or like my wedding ring, he gave me that. What if he wants to keep it in a little box for himself? You know, whatever he wants to do, he can do. And now we have talked about losing people. We have talked about migrants taking all our tax dollars, and it's great. We have talked about how to talk to your terminally ill loved ones. We've talked about how to not care about wills and who gets what. And if you get something or nothing, like, why does that matter? You just lost someone you love. Right? You just lost someone you love. When my loved one was like, you're not in the will, I'm like, okay, what could be in your will that would bring you back? That was like my response. Like, what would be in there that would in any way alleviate losing you? I can't think of anything. So, you know, whatever your wishes are, I respect them. Because, you know, a car isn't going to replace you. Half a house in a sale isn't going to replace you. Some pots and pans, it ain't replacing you. So, is what it is. Doing Avon live show wearing makeup, I wouldn't be married to him because that's disgusting. That's not what I find attractive, and in no way would I be sexually attracted to my husband if that's what he did. It's one thing to have a joke, but yeah, I don't imagine my husband in girls' clothing or makeup. That's not my cup of tea. It's fine if it's yours. It is not mine. I am not into it. Sahara Desert vagina like that. Sexuality dead, soul dead, does nothing for me. Guys, have a fantastic day. Link to shop is in my link tree in the About Me of my page. Locals, you know where my shit is. Hi, dog. I think someone needs to go outside and poop. Is that what you want to do? Yep, it's time. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow for my stream. Bye, guys.